came from the UK. I can't and won't be stopped.
Come on, there you go. Get up there. Get up there. Get up. It's got it. Something to say. It's got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
His career is safe. He is the new.
Oh my God!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another explosive night. WSN Round.
Cut off with one of the big guys. And to prove yourself, you want to knock him out.
Ain't no way, ain't no how. I'ma let somebody come and shut me down. Hold my own, I'ma stand my ground. I'ma rep my city and salute my town. Said ain't no way, ain't no how. I'ma let somebody come and shut me down. I'ma hold my own, I'ma stand my ground. And I'm ready for whatever, and I still stand proud. Ain't no way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestling Exciting Nation, and on today's B&B Show episode, yes, we know why you clicked on this episode. You want to hear us talk about Kayfabe. So we're gonna ask the age-old question: is Kayfabe dead? I'm gonna put it like that: is Kayfabe dead? Now, before I go into it, Bear, you've been watching wrestling a long time, like to the point where you didn't know what kayfabe was. You right?
Yeah, yeah.
That literally wasn't. So I want to hear your thoughts first about this. Just talk about it. Back then. Now, and actually, real quick, let me ask you this. I know I just kind of cut the corner real quick. So before I ask that question, I'm sure everybody clicking on this video knows about the curtain call. Okay, we all know about what happened. And if you don't know, I'll just give backstory, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bear. It was Michaels, Triple H, Nash, Hall. They were at a house show, and Nash and Hall were going to WCW, and they were wrestling a cage match. And basically, Michaels was the champion at the time. And after the match, they broke kayfabe and they hugged, and somebody got it on camera. And that was a fat no-no back then. So Vince McMahon couldn't punish Michaels. He was a champion. Nash Hall didn't go there, so he punished Triple H. Triple H didn't win the King of the Ring. We got 316 era. That's basically how it went. I want you to tell me, when did you kind of first hear about that moment, and what was your thoughts about that? Because like I said, you watched wrestling before that was. Kayfabe, there was no, none of that was anything. That was a big deal.
Yeah, I have no problem telling anybody. I've been watching wrestling for over 40 years. So back when I came up with it, my father was a big wrestling fan. He brought me and my brothers and sisters into it. So there was a time that, and another thing, we lived in the South. So wrestling was real. You could not have told us any different. We would fight you if you told us wrestling was fake. That's how serious we took it. I remember many times getting into it with family members. Why are you watching that fake stuff? Man, that was a punch in the face, and we were going to rumble drink after that. But then, was that fake? No, wrestling ain't fake. So to go back to your question, when I remember hearing about the curtain call, and I thought to myself, wow, somebody actually recorded that. They were bold enough to do that. Oh man, some people getting fired, some heads are gonna roll. And then I thought to myself, man, that hurts because you're seeing, that's like seeing a magician and seeing what he's doing to fool you. And it takes away from the magic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I felt about it when I first heard about it.
Okay. Now let me ask you this then real quick. Do you think kayfabe is alive right there, right now at this instant, or do you think it's gone?
I I think that kayfabe is still alive. It's it's still alive if you want it to be alive. And what I mean by that, anyone with social media, there you clearly can see that who's friends and that they have people who book the shows, win and losses and all that. But you still have to spend your belief into the product to really get super enjoyment out of it. I think you can, I mean, like myself, I consider myself a very intelligent person. And I know that they have to, they have someone right plan the matches. They plan how it's going to go. And they already decided who's winning, who's losing. But it's still fun for me and amazing because they're using their athletic ability, their ability to act to make me believe in it enough where I don't care if I know that's two best friends in real life. They make themselves seem like blood enemies and they're out for a goal. So
Okay.
is it still alive? Again, I
If
for
you
me,
want it to be.
exactly.
Now, okay, I like that. Now, let me hit you with something. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you something and say when I think kayfabe died. Okay,
Okay.
I believe kayfabe died on the night of the Montreal screw job with the whole. Well, for one, backstage with Bret Hart literally punching Vince McMahon in the face and all this stuff, and then Vince McMahon, and all that. Now, now there is an argument out there because I've talked to people about this, how they say that the Montreal screw job was a work. And that goes back on saying then that means kayfabe is alive and well. I personally don't believe it's a work. I mean, I just go Canada, um, I don't believe it's a work. Now, that's why I say I think it died that night. Um, but I agree with you though, in saying kayfabe is alive if you want it to be 100%. I mean, I feel the same way as you. Um, I watch it, like for instance, the other day I watched Bianca Belair and Oscar beat the hell out of each other and they hated each other, you know. But in real life, social media is a thing. They have their own, Instagrams and Facebook. They post pictures together. I mean, they do that. I mean that's just the way it is. Um, or for example, I mean, if you take a major heel, let's say, I don't know, let's just say MJF. I'm not saying he would do this because that's MJF is a different type of heel. He's a different type of breed.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
But let's just say MJF posts a video online of him going up to, I don't know, make a wish and like giving somebody an autograph, saying hi, giving a huge hug to people, and then he gets in one of those interviews where he's like, I love doing this, blah, blah, blah. You're like, what the heck? That it's obvious, obviously MJF's not that. I think the MJF is legit, man. He's not like that. He's an actual heel. But with the creation of social media, and exactly what I was saying with the creation of social media, if you take a heel like that, or let's say in storyline wise, somebody, for example, broke their arm, but you see them on social media and their arm's fine, it's little stuff like that. The problem is social media is just so rampant. It doesn't matter. Let's just pretend I became a pro wrestler tomorrow and I took my phone and I threw it away and never touched another device in my life. I would still end up on social media because of how many paparazzi and other people want autographs and social media and blah, blah, blah. You can't get away from it, but that's just the way it is. So that's what I say when like you have to force yourself to actually tell you, believe kayfabe is alive. I feel like I'm not gonna say force yourself, but like you're not insulting your own intelligence.
Yeah, yeah. Dispend. You're
exactly.
just suspending facts, but it's easier to accept
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
you want to enjoy it.
Trust me, that's the problem with watching this sport. It's when you sit down and watch it with somebody who's never seen it before, and and they start digging. They're like, "Well, hold on a sec. Well, you do know that they were, here they are together. Those guys that wrestled last week, they're together right now. They're at a restaurant. What about that? Just forget about it.
like, bruh, I'm not an idiot.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, I think the thing is when you're a kid, you don't even know, I especially like even when I was a kid, I mean, there wasn't even phone. I mean, there wasn't cell phones, there was wall phones, but there wasn't cell phones, there wasn't social media, there wasn't even a MySpace yet, and so when I was a kid, obviously I thought they really hated each other, And I think when you grow up, even as a kid nowadays, let's say there's a kid nowadays who, they don't get on social media at all. They think they actually hate each other, and they grow up to believe in that belief. So that it doesn't matter the day they hear, oh, well, actually they're best friends on here. They're going to be like, oh, wow, really? Okay, that's cool. They actually like each other. But they're still going to go sit down and be like, damn, they hate each other because you grew up with that belief. I mean, I grew up and now to be fair, some wrestlers do hate each other, but like I grew up and I was like, man, Brock Lesnar really hates Kurt Angle. Oh my gosh. But they're actually good friends in real life, and so that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So I think with us, we don't have to force ourselves at all because it's a belief, we grew up, or it's like it's burned in our mind already. Like there's no way to unburn. I could sit here and tell myself they don't hate each other, they're best friends. It won't go away. The second I watch wrestling, I'm gonna be like, man, he is pissed off. Perfect example. Roman Reigns in the Bloodline right now. I mean,
yeah.
On TV, you're like, dude, they're in big trouble. Roman hates the Usos right now. Our Solo is beating the hell out of his own brother. Why would he do that? I promise you but I promise you after SmackDown, they went and had, they went to eat at an Italian restaurant together, and
exactly.
That's just the way it is. But I do think the Montreal Screwjob had a big effect on it, and social media was definitely the nail in the coffin.
Well, I like what you said, and I will give you this point too. With the Montreal Screwjob, a lot of people do say that was the death of kayfabe, but really was it? And I say it like this: with everything we know about that event, do we truly know that Brett and Vince didn't, and Sean didn't all sit down and decided, hey, this is how we're going to do this?
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
Wait a minute. Well, no. But then, if you think about it, they could have did that, but it could have been so real too. It's so much because even wrestlers, one of the big things I've always heard that wrestlers are trying to pop their co-workers to make them question if it's real or not.
Yeah.
Because if you can fool the person that you work with, you can fool any casual fan.
Yeah.
So, and it goes back to what I said earlier. Yeah, I know it isn't real, but why in the world do I want to have to analyze every magic trick to say, hey, you're doing this, and this is why it's this? Man, for 1 second, and everything I got going on in my life, It helps me forget about those issues. I
Yeah,
enjoy what happens.
I was gonna say that's what the E in WWE stands for, entertainment. And I mean, it's the same thing as like I love the show NCIS. Okay, I dig that show. Sometimes look. I know it's not real, but like, dude, I pretend it is. Okay, I love watching it. I know it's not real. Okay, but I watch it like it is, and that's the same thing with
Man,
wrestling. You know,
man,
like
you name a movie, TV show, like you said, hell, I'm a big Law and Order. You can't tell me when the character Lenny retired from that show, my wife would get on here and tell you I tear up
yeah,
every single time I see that
exactly, and that's just the way it
because
is.
I'm invested, and
Yeah,
that's the thing with anything that you okay. And another for the purists out there who like, oh, y'all this or that. I'm gonna break it down to you. When you see two football players on opposing teams and they're playing to win. Okay, after the game, don't you see some of them hang out? Don't you see they're great friends? Doesn't mean that because they're friends and stuff, they can't be enemies when they do their job.
I say
So
they still got a job to do. You know,
come
and
on. Again, it goes back to your psychology and everything. And that's why I love wrestling so much. It's a psychology to things. And I like the thinking. It's almost like it's I go back to Shakespeare. It's a play. And I want to be fooled. If you're good enough to fool me, then you did something. You make me proud. It's like, man, I respect that. You have an art form and you're good at it.
yeah, yeah. And see, that's a good point because like with, I keep going back to it, man. But look, the day, okay, if the day somebody comes to me and she gives me proof that the Montreal screw job was a work, is the day that I will stop watching wrestling. Okay, I will sell every figure, every magazine, the belt I have, the movies, the DVD collection. I will sell them all if somebody could prove me that was a work. Because I'm telling you, that damn thing was not a work. Because the thing is, like when okay, for example, when you watched that and you saw Bret Hart draw out the WCW symbol, dude, that's like you thought the TV was gonna shatter. Seriously. I mean, do you remember your reaction when you saw that? You're like,
Like, oh,
he spit on Vince McMahon. He trashed the ring. When he spit on Vince McMahon, I mean,
let me
dude,
tell you this. Let me tell you this. And I consider you as a brother. If you spit on me, there is going to be a misunderstanding that is not going to be able to be talked about.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
going to have to throw some hands and then regain our friendship from that. But you
yeah.
ain't
No,
spit on me.
I agree. Not only that, he on national television, he spit on him, and then he proceeded to draw out
The
the
competition.
rival and the competition's logo. Man, what and see, that's why I say, like, man, that was like the day that some stuff changed. You know, it was definitely, if it wasn't the day Kayfabe died, it was sure as hell the day that it took a fat U-turn. Okay. And you know, that's what I always go back to when this topic gets brought up because of just, I mean, everything that happened during that night, but after, you know, the interviews
Oh,
with
yeah.
Vince
The
McMahon
people
on
that quit.
NBC, the people that quit, and the interview with him on the news where he's like, I didn't screw Brett. Brett screwed Brett, you know, and it's just like, what the hell? This is on the new, you know, and yeah, it's just, you know, but I definitely think we definitely hit the nail on the head with it's a psychological thing. You know, it's your own, you know, it's your own, really your own doing. I mean, if you sit there and say, if you watch Monday Night Raw and you're like, It's fake. You know, it's fake. Well, okay, two things. One, you're definitely not enjoying the entertainment part of it. And two, why are you watching it? I mean, like, it's, yeah, we get that. We all know it's fake. That's the point. I mean, the point of it is the storylines are fake. Now, if you go out there and take a frog splash, I promise you it's going to hurt. You can't fake that. You can make it to where you can protect it, but I promise you, you go out there and take a frog splash, you're going to be throwing up. I mean,
they're athletes.
Exactly.
You can't. I don't care how fake stuff can be done. There's some things that can't be fake, and you have to be a true athlete to be able to do what these guys and girls do.
You can't fake gravity. If you're on the top rope, either way, you got to fall somewhere. Something's got to break your fall. It's you're either going to be able to protect your stomach's either going to get protected a little bit or not at all. There's no, but either way, you're going to feel it. And so that's just the way. I mean, you know, just enjoy it. I mean, that's, like I said, that's the point of entertainment.
And that's, for me, that's what makes us wrestling fans a whole different breed. Because you won't get any real argument from a true wrestling fan that is fake, but be respectful, because we understand what they are doing to entertain us, that have to be athletes to put themselves in spots to go be away from their family and put their bodies on the line. One of the greatest matches last year. Please tell me how you fake the double dog collar match.
No, you can't. I mean, this is no. You can't. I mean, you can't. Like I said, when you're, for example, when during that match when Mark Briscoe, when Dax, no, it was Cash Wheeler. It was Wheeler who was on the top rope, and Dax. I mean, it was Wheeler who was on the top rope, and Mark was on the floor. And there was a table right there. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And Mark takes the chain, yanks his neck, and throws him, and he does a flip onto the table, onto the floor. Look, I don't give a damn if that table is made out of foam. You're still falling onto a table, onto a floor, doing a flip. I'm sure as hell not doing that. I don't care. No. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, but I'm just not. And so, you know, that's just the way it is. But I mean, we appreciate y'all clicking on this video, though. If you didn't know what kayfabe was, now you do. Go search up the little curtain call thing. That is definitely the day that, like, you're like, whoa, what the hell? Because that was a but if we didn't get that, we would never have Austin 316. So pros and cons for that curtain call moment. But we appreciate you watching this video. Go watch our other stuff. We have other stuff. A lot of B&B shows on the channel now. Go watch them all. Just go binge watch them all. They're all in the playlist. Clayton shows in the playlist. Brady's little shows in the playlist. Tevin's show, The Brass Ring, is out there as well. Go watch our 2K promotion. Season 2 just came back. Go watch our podcast. They're all on there, and we'll be live every Sunday. And make sure you comment what your favorite part of this episode was, what you want to see in the future. Like, subscribe, share with all your friends, and we will see you next time.
I came from the UK. I can't and won't be stopped.
Come on, there you go. Get out there. Get out there. Get out!
And I will never give you a contract.
I tell you what, if you're going to start off, you want to start off with one of the big guys. And to prove yourself, you want to knock them out.
This is the Wrestling Society Network.